Hello everyone. Today we shall be beginning with the second chapter in trigonometry of second year basic maths course, compound angles, multiple and submultiple angles and transformation formulae. In your first PUC classes, you have had the beginning of trigonometry, wherein you have learned the basic concepts related to the same segment. Now, before we actually begin with this compound angles, multiple and submultiple angles, and transformation formulae concepts, let us take a brief relook at whatever we have learned in first PUC classes. So here we recollect first of all the ASTC rule, which stands for angles lying in the first quadrant. For all such angles, trigonometric ratio will be positive. In the second quadrant, only sine and its reciprocal, that is cosecant, will be positive. Trigonometric ratios of angles lying in the third quadrant, you will have only tan and its reciprocal relation, that is cot, to be positive. Likewise, in the fourth quadrant, if an angle has to belong to the fourth quadrant, then cosine and its reciprocal secant will be positive. So we collect here all the first letters of those words. First quadrant all, second quadrant sine, third quadrant tan, fourth quadrant cosine, and the respective reciprocals to be positive in the respective quadrants. The associative memory which could be related to this ASTC will be all students take chocolates. So ASTC rule, which was learned in the first PUC class. With that, we have also had the standard angles, for which we have a small table to recollect. We first of all consider along the first column the three basic trigonometric ratios, that are sine, cosine and tangent function, which have been considered as sine, cos and tan respectively. The five standard angles, we have placed them across the first row. You have 0, 30 degrees. In radian measure, you will have it as pi by 6. Then the third, you have 45 degrees in radian measure, which comes as pi by 4. In the fourth column, you have 60 degrees, the fourth standard angle, and in radian measure, the same comes as pi by 3. And in the last, you have 90 degrees, and in radian measure, the same angle corresponds to pi by 2. And we all have learned how to make use of this as a table, ready reckoner table. For example, if I have to find the value of say sine 45 degrees, then I will have to go to the column which is headed by sine, and you will have to look into 45 degrees, and the corresponding angle here, you will have it as the ratio as 1 by root 2. Thus you find sine 45 degrees is 1 divided by root 2. Likewise, if one has to find out the value for tan 30 degrees, then we need to go to the last row, 30 degrees, which is in the second column, and you have the coinciding element there as 1 by root 3. Thus, tan 30 degrees bears the value 1 divided by root 3. Say suppose if I have to find the cosecant of 45 degrees. Cosecant is the reciprocal of sine ratio. So you will have to go along this sine ratio there. You will have to look into sine 45 degrees, find out what is the reciprocal of the obtained value. Sine 45 degrees comes as 1 by root 2, and so you have cosecant 45 degrees is equal to square root of 2. And all this we have had in detailed learning in your first year classes. Now here in second PUC, we shall be continuing ahead with the same set of trigonometry concepts, but of course with an upgraded concept which will be compound angles, multiple and submultiple angles and transformation formulae. So now let us see what do we understand first of all by these compound angles, multiple and submultiple angles and then transformation formulae. We first define what is called as a compound angle. For any two angles, say A and B, their sum or difference will be referred to as compound angle. That means for two angles A and B, A plus B, A minus B will be referred to as a compound angle. Can I have more than two angles here? And is it possible for me to consider a compound angle? Yes, it is possible. If you are having A, B, C as any three angles, then you could be taking A plus B minus C also as a compound angle. So here, for any two angles A and B, then the sum A plus B, A minus B will be referred to as a compound angle, and in this chapter we shall be finding out the trigonometric ratios of these type of compound angles. So how does one find out maybe sine of A plus B, or say tan of A minus B, or maybe secant of A plus B, and so on. How is that we are going to find the trigonometric ratios of any of these kind of compound angles, which is what we are going to learn in today's class. So we have now defined this compound angle, but you can see in the title of the chapter two more different words, new words I should say. One which comes as multiple angles, the other which comes as submultiple angles. So what do we understand by the other two terms here? What is the meaning of multiple angle and what would be the meaning of submultiple angle? So to define multiple angles, again I should consider a random angle, say A. We have an angle called A here. Then multiples of A. What do I understand by multiples of A? The same value A, if they are multiplied by any integral value, maybe angles in the form 2A, 3A, 4A, 5A, etc. will be referred to as multiple angles. Submultiple angles will be in the form A divided by 2, 3A divided by 2, or maybe A by 3, and so on. So if you are taking the fraction of the given angle, then we get what is called as submultiple angles. So we have now seen the various definitions: compound angle, multiple angles, and then submultiple angles. What then will be learnt under this new heading called transformation formulae then? Transformation formulae, as the word goes, it is going to transform. What is it going to be transformed there? In trigonometry, we come across sum or difference of two trigonometric ratios, and in this transformation formulae, we shall be able to convert the sum or difference into product and vice versa. Say if you have the sum of two trigonometric functions, maybe sine C plus sine D for two different angles called C and D, then this can easily be expressed as product of two other trigonometric functions. If you are having sum of two trigonometric functions which can be expressed as product of two trigonometric functions, then that is what we call as transformation formulae, because it is going to, operation is going to get transformed there. So now let us see, let us first of all begin here the chapter by considering this compound angles. Compound angles has got various set of formulae in it. So we will consider one by one all the formulae and hence the problems related to the same set. We have the compound angle formulae now, which you can see on the board. Sine of A plus B, which is given by sin A cos B plus cos A sin B. Cos of A plus B, which is given by cos A cos B minus sin A sin B. The third, we have tan of A plus B, which is supposed to be tan A plus tan B divided by 1 minus tan A into tan B. Fourth one, sin of A minus B, supposed to be sin A into cos B minus cos A into sin B. The fifth one, cos of A minus B, which is equal to cos A into cos B plus sin A into sin B. And finally, we have tan of A minus B, which is given by tan A minus tan B divided by 1 plus tan A into tan B. These are the 6 set of compound angle formulae that we are going to have for this second year course without proof. We are not going to prove any of these compound angle formulae in this year. We will be directly applying all this to a set of problems which we are going to consider in our next session. Going ahead towards the problems related to the same compound angles, we have the first question, find the values of the following. The first sub-question to that we have sine 75 degrees. Second, we will find out what is cos 15 degrees. Third, we have tan 75 degrees. And fourth, we have cosecant 15 degrees to be obtained. We have to find the values of these 4 trigonometric ratios. Now, one question we may ask here, this 4 angles, whatever have been given in this first question, neither of them are standard angles. 75 degree, 15 degree, 15 degree, 75 degree, for the 4 trigonometric ratios what we have here, they are not standard angles. There are only 5 standard angles, 0, 30, 45, 60 and then 90 degrees. When I have to find the values of trigonometric ratios of these kind of non-standard angles, then we will have to split the given angle only in terms of standard angles. See, there are various ways of splitting this first angle 75 degrees, isn't it? 75 degrees can be split in various ways. 75 degrees can be split as 70 degrees plus 5 degrees. It can also be taken as 71 degrees plus 4 degrees. It can also be taken as 60 degrees plus 15 degrees. It can be taken as 80 degrees minus 5 degrees. So we have here various combinations of splitting this particular angle 75 degrees. But when I have to apply compound angle formulae to find the values of these kind of trigonometric functions, then it is always that we have to split the given angle only in terms of 2 standard angles. So 70 plus 5, I cannot use it as a split for 75. Neither can I be using 71 plus 4 degrees. 80 minus 5 again will be ruled out here. I go with the third option here. Third option comes as 60 plus 15 degrees. Though you have 60 degrees as a standard angle, 15 degree do not belong to that bracket of standard angles. So this again will be ruled out. Hence, what has to be the only possibility to take a split for this 75 degrees? Remember, 75 degrees, it should come as either sum or difference of always 2 standard angles. And for that, I have only one option. I could be taking 45 degrees plus 30 degrees. And all of us agree, both of these 45 degree and 30 degree come as 2 standard angles. So this step I will not be applying. So 75 degrees, I will go ahead with this as the split. So let us see how to give the solution in terms of these compound angle formulae to arrive at the values of the above four. We go ahead with the first one, which is sine 75 degrees. As you can see here, 75 will be split as 30 plus 45 or 45 plus 30 should not matter. We will take it as sine 45 degrees plus 30 degrees. Now this is in accordance with sine of A plus B. Isn't it? We have A as equal to 45 degrees, B as equal to 30 degrees. Now because this sine 45 plus 30 is in the form of sine A plus B, I need to use the formula of sine A plus B. And what is sine of A plus B given by? We use sine of A plus B, the first compound angle formula, which is given by sine A into cos B plus cos A multiplied with sine B. Now to arrive at the value of sine 45 degrees, I shall be substituting A equal to 45 degrees and B is equal to 30 degrees. I will go ahead with the replacement for A and B in the sine of A plus B formula considered. Therefore, we find sine 75 degrees is equal to the first term in the RHS. We have sine A here. Sine A will come as sine 45 degrees multiplied with cos B. You will have it as cos 30 degrees plus second expression in the RHS cos A. It will come as cos 45 degrees multiplied with sine B, and B angle for us is 30 degrees. So we have replaced all the terms. Now all these standard angles in the RHS and we know their values. So we shall be substituting for each of them. Sine 45 degree 1 divided by root 2, cos 30 degrees root 3 divided by 2 plus cos 45 1 by root 2 again sine 30 degrees, which is going to be 1 by 2. And this needs to be simplified. 1 into root 3 gives us root 3 to the numerator. The two denominators multiply and hence you have 2 by root 2. Plus likewise the second term you have 1 into 1 divided by 2 into root 2. Now we see here in these two fractions there is a common denominator. So the LCM to the denominator remains the same. You can sum up the two numerators directly so that we find here root 3 plus 1 divided by 2 root 2 as the value of sine 75 degrees. There is no need for us to rationalize this further. We can be retaining the answer for sine 75 degrees in the octave form as it is. Root 3 plus 1 divided by 2 root 2. So the first question is answered to that end. Similarly, now we will be answering the second question which is given. That means cos 15. Like in the first sub question 75 degrees, here also we are having a non-standard angle which is 15 degrees. Now to find the value of cos 15 degrees, 15 degrees again here will have to be split only in terms of two standard angles. So what is the only option left with us to express 15 degrees in terms of two standard angles? You have to retain the function cos as it is. Only the angle will have to be split. And here clearly 15 degrees can be taken as 45 degrees minus 30 degrees. So the angle is split here. And now this RHS has been reduced to the form cos of first minus second, that is A minus B. Cos A minus B formula. And what is cos of A minus B given by? Cos of A minus B is supposed to be cos A into cos B. Remember, when you are having cosine of difference of two angles, then here in the RHS, that is the formula expansion, you will be having sum of the two terms, cos A into cos B plus sin A multiplied by sin B. And here we are having A 45 degrees, B is equal to 30 degrees. The same we will be applying in the above formula. So what happens to cos 15 degrees then? Cos 15 degrees hence will give us cos A. For A it is 45 degrees. Then into cos B, B it is 30 degrees plus sin A into sin B subsequently will become sin 45 degrees multiplied by sin 30 degrees. So the RHS is now expanded. We will have to substitute for each of these standard angle values. 45 and 30 both happen to be standard angles, and we very well know the values of the four ratios in the RHS. So now let us substitute and simplify. Cos 15 degrees hence will be equal to cos 45 degrees 1 by root 2, cos 30 degree root 3 divided by 2 plus sin 45 degrees 1 by root 2 sin 30 degrees, which is going to be 1 by 2. Again, multiply the two numerators, multiply the two denominators, take the sum, repeat that to the second term in the RHS. So you get root 3 by 2 root 2 plus 1 divided by 2 root 2. Again here we note that there is a common denominator. So you could be summing up the two numerators directly, and hence we find the value of cos 15 degrees as equal to square root of 3 plus 1 divided by 2 root 2. Again here retain the final answer in the same form. There is no need for one to simplify that further. So this gives us the solution to the second sub question. Now similarly we will have to find out the third sub question, wherein we are supposed to find the value of tan 75 degrees. 75 degrees is already split for us, isn't it? In the first sub question we have sin 75 degrees. Angle is the same, only the ratio is different here. So we will use the same split. 75 degrees will be taken as 45 degrees plus 30 degrees. Now this is reduced to which form? Tan of A plus B, isn't it? For A you are having 45 degrees and for B you are having 30 degrees. So now here I will be using tan of A plus B formula. And what is tan A plus B given by? It will be tan A plus tan B divided by 1 minus tan A into tan B. And because we have here A equal to 45 degrees, B is equal to 30 degrees, the formula substitution will give us tan 45 degrees plus tan 30 degrees whole divided by 1 minus tan 45 degrees into tan 30 degrees. We now have to simplify the origins of the obtained expression, and thereby tan 75 degrees is now going to be equal to, we all know tan 45 degrees it is 1, tan 30 degrees is 1 divided by root 3 whole divided by 1 minus product of the above two values. That means 1 multiplied by 1 divided by root 3. This has to be simplified. You are getting 1 plus 1 by root 3 in the numerator, and in the denominator you have 1 minus 1 divided by root 3. You have a fraction which is divided by another fraction. 1 plus 1 by root 3 whole divided by 1 minus 1 divided by root 3. Numerator sum of two fractions. Denominator difference of two fractions. So to simplify you have to definitely take LCM to the denominator, which comes as root 3. Numerator becomes root 3 plus 1. Similarly in the denominator we have root 3 minus 1 by root 3. And here this has to be simplified further. Root 3 and root 3 will get cancelled, so that we find tan 75 degrees, which is now going to be square root of 3 plus 1 divided by square root of 3 minus 1. Again here, no need to rationalize. We take the answer in the same fractional form as obtained. That answers the second sub question. So first, second, third, all the three are done. We are now left with the last one, which is cosecant 15 degrees. So how does one find cosecant 15 degrees? See, when we have seen the first set of compound angle formulae, we are having sum of two angles A plus B. And in the second set, that is 4, 5 and 6, we are having compound angle A minus B. First three A plus B, last three A minus B. And in the first three and also the last three formulae, we found only three trigonometric ratios. They were sine, cos and tan. But here we have an altogether different ratio which is not there in the list that we gave in the beginning of the class. Isn't it? We didn't have any formula which was explicitly mentioned as cosecant A plus B or cosecant A minus B. So then how does one find the value of cosecant 15 degrees? To obtain this kind of a ratio, to obtain the value of this kind of a trigonometric function, we bring the concept of reciprocal relations. What did we learn in the first PUC classes in trigonometry about the reciprocal relations? So we shall recall again your first year class syllabus in trigonometry. We have learned sine and cosecant are reciprocal to each other, isn't it? That means you have sine theta multiplied with cosecant theta is equal to 1, which clearly states cosecant theta hence will be equal to 1 divided by sine theta, or maybe sine theta comes as 1 divided by cosecant theta. Likewise, we have cos theta and secant theta to be reciprocal to each other. Cos theta into secant theta will be 1. Likewise, we have tan theta multiplied with cot theta, which is equal to 1. Now here, which is most suitable for us? To arrive at this value of cosecant 15 degrees of the three reciprocal relations, we observe first one holds good, isn't it? Cosecant is nothing but the reciprocal of sine theta. So here we shall be using the first relation to obtain the ratio there and the value there. So to find out what is this cosecant 15 degrees, I will first express it as 1 divided by sine 15 degrees. Now I will be finding out the value of sine 15 degrees. To find the value of sine 15 degrees, we shall express 15 in terms of two standard angles, and that possibility is only 45 minus 30. So sine 15 will be taken as sine 45 minus 30. Now this got reduced to sine of A minus B formula, is it not? For A you are having 45 degrees, for B you are having 30 degrees. And what is sine of A minus B given by? Sine A into cos B minus cos A multiplied with sine B. So the same formula I will be using over here. So that I write sine 45 degrees into cos 30 degrees minus sine, or maybe I will write it as cos 45 degrees into sine 30 degrees. Now we shall replace all the four values here. All these four are standard angles. Sine 45, 1 by root 2, cos 30, root 3 divided by 2, minus cos 45, 1 by root 2, sine 30, which is going to be 1 by 2. Simplifying, you get root 3 minus 1 divided by 2 root 2 as the final answer. This will be the value of only sine 15 degrees. Remember, we are finding the value for cosecant 15 degrees, but root 3 minus 1 divided by 2 root 2 is the value for sine 15 degrees. Hence, the same value obtained here, that is root 3 minus 1 divided by 2 root 2, will have to be replaced back in equation 1. So what happens to equation 1 now? That means the value of cosecant 15 degrees. Cosecant 15 degrees hence will be equal to 1 divided by root 3 minus 1 divided by 2 root 2. This on simplifying will yield us 2 root 2 divided by square root of 3 minus 1. So this is the desired value of cosecant 15 degrees. So to this end, we have answered all the 4 sub questions which has come under the first question taken. Now let us see the second question, which again is a part of compound angle formulae. We now have the second question on the board. If sin A equal to 3 by 5, cos B equal to 4 by 5, such that A and B are acute angles, then find the values of sin A plus B and cos A minus B. So we shall again recollect sin A plus B. What is sin A plus B given by? Sin A into cos B plus cos A into sin B. But here in the data we are having only two ratios, sin A and cos B. The other two ratios we have to first find out and then substitute in the respective formula there. Sin A is given, cos B is given. So we need to find out cos A using the first data and sin B using the second data. So we have here, let us solve this solution to the above question. We are given sin A equal to 3 by 5. Further, they have given that A and B are acute angles. Acute angles means angle will have to be greater than 0 degrees, less than 90 degrees. That means angles will have to lie in the first quadrant. Trigonometric ratios of all angles lying in the first quadrant will always be positive, isn't it? So you are having sin A positive 3 by 5. We have to find out cos A value. For that we have got two methods. First method, I will make use of a right angle triangle here. This is the angle A and I use the definition of sin A. What is sine of any angle in the right angle triangle supposed to be? It counts as the opposite side of the angle divided by the hypotenuse. Opposite side here to angle A, it becomes 3. Hypotenuse of the triangle will become 5. You will apply the Pythagoras theorem to the same triangle and find out the measure of the remaining side. So what happens to the measure of the remaining side? If I consider the triangle here as equal to PQR, then we find PR squared is equal to PQ squared plus QR squared. So PR squared becomes 25, PQ squared becomes 9 plus QR squared. And with this I find QR is equal to root of 25 minus 9. 25 minus 9 will be 16. Square root of 16 will be equal to 4. I will not be using the negative value. I mean the negative counterpart of root 16 will be discarded here only because of the reason that both A and B are acute angles, and so cosine of the angle A will have to be positive. So how does one bring the value of cos A now when you know the measure of the remaining side in the same right angle triangle? For that, use the definition of a cosine of an angle. Recall, cosine of any angle in the right angle triangle is always equal to the adjacent side of the angle divided by the hypotenuse. Adjacent side here is nothing but QR, which is obtained as equal to 4 divided by hypotenuse, which remains as equal to 5. So one value it is done. Cos A we have obtained. This is one method of obtaining the value of cos A. Now we shall consider an alternative, that is the second method of arriving at the same value of cos A, wherein we don't bring the concept of this Pythagoras theorem. We shall be using the first trigonometric identity learned in the first year course, sin squared A plus cos squared A, which is equal to 1. We already know the value of sin A, isn't it? We have to find the value of cos A. So what happens to cos squared A here? Cos squared A will be equal to 1 minus sin squared A, and hence we have cos A, which is equal to square root of 1 minus sin squared A. In this, we shall be replacing the value of sin A. Sin A given as equal to 3 by 5 will get replaced in the square root in the RHS, so that we find this to be 1 minus 9 divided by 25. Simplifying, you get the value as equal to square root of 16 divided by 25, and thus you find cos A to be equal to 4 by 5. You will either use the first method learnt or the second method that we just had. Okay, whatever it is, the final answer of cos A will have to remain the same as equal to 4 by 5. Cos A is done. What else is required? We will have to use the second data for that. Cos B, which is given as equal to 4 by 5. Again, I have to find the value of sin B. So you are given here cos B as equal to 4 by 5. I have to find out the value of sin B. How should I find the value of sin B? I can be using any of the above methods learned. So now I will be using again a right angle triangle PQR, but here instead of angle A, I will have to consider angle B and use the definition of cosine of an angle. Cosine of an angle is supposed to be adjacent side divided by hypotenuse. Apply again the Pythagoras theorem, and that should imply the value of the remaining side, measure of the remaining side, that is PQ, as equal to 3 units, and thereby we get the value of sin B. Sine of a ratio is the sine of an angle is supposed to be defined as opposite side of the angle divided by the hypotenuse. So that you find here the value for sin B, which is equal to 3 by 5. Now this will have to be replaced in the formula of sin A plus B and cos A minus B, which is going to give us the answers to the desired question, given questions. So sin of A plus B, sin A cos B plus cos A sin B. We just have substituted all the 4 values. Simplifying, it is going to get us the final answer as 24 divided by 25. Similarly, now we shall apply cos A minus B formula and find out what is the answer.